Back in the day, got packs from me. I took a break, I'm back on my wave. I jump on the stage and get cash from it. Used to hit licks with a couple of friends, so you know what it is, hit the mask on them. I saw the cops back on my block, so I had to dip with a half on them. Before I get knocked, I'm setting up shop, so I ain't get cold with the gas on them. This is a party, doomsday. I'm on a run, I might hit Zoe and Bingo. I spot a rapper, bingo. Tell from the flow that I be a go, get a shots get thrown, can't run from the pole, nigga. Ain't too many got sold with them rap so clean, think tracks get ghost rent. We pull up with the bros, yo, whole click photo, no, that's whole nigga trace. We pull up, then go in the safe. This is a payback, and my brothers say get them to say that. See, they talking, but we don't engage that. We tie nigga to train tracks. You got knocked with all that guap and all that dope way back, and they came home. Well, I don't know. Said these niggas worse at Takashi. I hit the plug, re-up the pack, get count up and listen to Mozzie. Told him that this is a body. If you wanna kill, stay on my way. Know what it is, I am AK. You get the hint, can't behave. I was a boss, no matter the age. We was some kids with the trap jumping. There was some days we ain't have nothing. Was good with that nigga, he act funny. Back in the day, got packs from me. I took a break, I'm back on my wave. I jump on the stage and get cash from it. Used to hit licks with a couple of friends, so you know what it is, hit the mask on them. I hit the road to do me a show. I keep a O with a gas on them. Dubbing these hoes whenever I go. I'ma be gone in a flash on them. I kill a rapper, doomsday. I'm on a run, I might hit Zoe and Bingo. I spot a rapper, bingo.
Now, I'm a vet in this bitch. Fuck what a newbie say. Spark a Dutch, pour a cup and let a movie play. Drop the beat, make them dance, we on that groovy wave. Tutu in your back, nigga, now you Rudy Gay. I 8 tracks on 8 tracks, I don't lie, I state facts. I trapped hard and I made racks, can't help it, plus I got state tax. And some other shit I gotta pay back. Fuck a 9 to 5, I had to break bad. Smoking train wreck on the train tracks to the train wrecks. I'm a slay tracks, need a bean bands and a Maybach. I don't do much, I be laid back. You don't know shit about JP, hey, you talk to feds, so explain that. Been the same nigga since way back, with the half moon and the wave cap. And no J curl, no activator or barbershop, gon' change that. You drop a track, we don't bang that. Any same hoes got the same tag, got the same grr, go bang brat, smoke top shelf, so I stay smack. Shoot, miss where you aim mad, keep a hammer on me, I don't play that. The word dirty, the money dirty, but the record clean like A-Jagger.
Yo, welcome back to another episode of the Cypher. That was Bingo off of Anthony Cannon's latest release, Saint Cannon. If you haven't heard it yet, I don't know what you're doing, but you can find it on all streaming services. Go save it to your library, come back to the podcast. My name is Andrew Kazir. I'm the owner and editor of Upstate Aesthetic. Every week I host the Cypher with Anthony Cannon and Sheridan Crane. How you guys doing?
Man, I can't complain, Brody. It's a nice Wednesday morning. What about you guys? How y'all doing?
Doing pretty well. I've still been skiing a lot, and more so at this point, just kind of planning my trip back to San Francisco. I now have like a solidified date. I'm going back March 5th. I'm gonna take the drive out with my dad.
You driving?
Yeah, we're gonna drive it. I came with a very full suitcase back from San Francisco. Since I've been home, I've bought a lot of stuff. I have just a lot more things that I need to like Christmas
so
happened.
Money to fly.
Yeah. It would just be too much. And I would have to like either ship stuff, and I don't know what my shipping situation is out there because like my apartment that I have right now, shipping was really sketchy, and a lot of people got their packages stolen. So I just don't really want to deal with that, and I just figured driving will be easier. My sister's in Colorado. My dad's going to drop the car off there and then just fly home after we're all done in California. So it's going to be a trip. Yeah, it's going to be a trip.
That is a trip. That's a deep
really
drive.
excited.
Have you driven that far before, Sheridan?
Yeah,
no?
that's so when I moved out there, we took the drive out there. We did 24 hours straight to Boulder, no stops. Stayed there for a day, then did 18 hours to Oregon, stayed there for a day, and then did a 9-hour down to San Francisco. So we've actually done technically a longer drive because we won't be going all over the place on this one. We're just going to go straight through, but we'll probably do it in we won't spend as much time when we stop. You know what I mean?
Right.
It'll be more of a consecutive drive across the country. It'll be interesting.
That's low key. Yeah, that's low key crazy, bro. I'm not gonna hold you. It's dope. It sounds like it'll be a nice bonding experience, and I'm sure you're excited to get back to San Francisco.
Yeah, that's really what it is. Like, I'm so bored here, and I'm just ready to come back. Especially I'm not gonna be able to ski that much longer. So once I can't ski, then it's gonna get really boring.
Right. Yeah, yo, I mean, and that's kind of the funny thing when you're away from home, you're excited to get back home, but I mean, and you've been back for a while, but it usually doesn't take me too long where I'm ready to get back to where I was and get back to work. So
Yeah,
I'm
it
not
took like a
surprised.
month. I was home for a month. I was like, this is awesome. And then after a month, I was like, okay, like I'm ready to go back now.
You say that, but then you stayed like 6 months.
Well, it was more so about just like money though.
Okay.
At that point, it was like I was saving more money being here, and I had some apartment issues, so I wanted to. And since I've left, well, since I rented my apartment for the first like month or whatever, rent in San Francisco has gone down over 25%.
Oh, that's
So
what's
like
up.
getting a new place, I should be able to get a new nicer place for either the same price or like similar price.
Is that because of the pandemic, or is that because of new like laws or something?
A lot of people have been
it's-
riding out of California. What I've seen, a lot of people have been
Yeah,
moving out,
I know.
trying to get to different places. So
A lot of the techies are going Texas, and I'd say it's 70% pandemic and like 30% people are just actually leaving San Francisco and going to live other places. But right now they like just hearing people on like different housing groups I'm a part of on Facebook and seeing what they say. It seems like the city's half empty right now.
that's interesting. That's interesting, bro. So, shit, we got you in New York for another week or so, and then we'll
Yeah.
see how shit goes. We might have to change some stuff up on the podcast, but hopefully stuff will stay pretty consistent. Interesting news from some major album releases this week. Travis Scott talking about how he's going to be dropping Utopia soon. I don't know how much people actually take that seriously, how much people care. He had mentioned he's trying
It's
out
like-
a bunch of different things. He teased a lot of stuff in an interview he did, but I don't know.
It's like when he said Astro World was coming soon, a year and a half before it came out.
That's a fact.
Well,
I guarantee you that's what's going on.
Well, soon is a relative term, to keep it a buck. Like, we all have this perception we think of when we hear the word soon, but soon means something completely different to each individual person. So I don't really know when this shit will pop out. When was Astro World? 2019?
It's been a while now.
Yeah,
Shit.
it was 2019, right?
It was 2019.
Early 2019, right?
Yeah,
Late
yeah,
20. I don't think it was 2018. So yeah,
I think
early.
I think it was like early summer or like late spring 2019.
Yeah.
It was 2018. It was
Okay.
2018.
2018. That's crazy. That's crazy.
That's how long it's been. But
It was
so-
okay. No, I remember when it was. It was the same day because it was the same day swimming dropped from Mac
Oh,
Miller.
yeah.
So it was late. It was late 2018, but it wasn't like winter. It was like fall.
Yeah, it was like September, October type. So
Yeah.
Yeah, that is crazy. That's almost 3 years now. So good for him, because after Astro World, he has had an unbelievable 3 years. You
yeah, I was
feel
gonna
me?
say how many artists release an album, go 3 years, and just get this much bigger. Like some albums
Well,
or
he-
artists can really maintain, but he has really just gone beyond everything he was when he dropped Astroworld.
He dropped and this isn't just him, I guess, but that Cactus Jack project. Or
Yeah, the
not,
Jack Boys.
Jack Boys. Yeah, he dropped that shit.
That shit was dirt.
And- yeah, I didn't like it. And he had a bunch of collabs in the past couple. There was a couple joints on there though. I'm not about
I
to.
like the Don Toliver. There was a Don Toliver song I liked, but other than that, I really don't like Sheck West. I can't stand Sheck West. So when he's on, like,
West, I'm getting really. Nah, I got you. I was never a big fan of him either.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll have to see how long it'll take for Travis to drop this one. He's gonna, and that's the thing. When you get this much bigger, you kind of have to deliver at some type of level. I don't think he necessarily has to deliver a classic or anything, but he can't fall off too hard from where he was with Astroworld. So we'll see where it goes. An artist who people thought was falling off a little bit when he dropped this album, Anniversary, Bryson Tiller. He's dropping a deluxe version on Friday. I don't know if you guys care at all, but I am personally pretty excited
care.
about it. He did a live thing where he said something about how when he dropped Anniversary it wasn't even done and this is more of a complete version, so that's interesting to hear.
I hate when artists do that shit. I'm not gonna hold you. And granted, he may be telling the full truth.
Yeah.
But if that's the case, then why'd you put it out, my nigga? Like, like
As a
this-
fan especially, I'm like, yo, why did you waste my time? Like, why we've waited that long for you to drop projects anyway, like why'd you do that? But
it kind of sounded incomplete to me. I go back to it now, and granted, I haven't gone back to it in a little bit, but I like it a lot more than I did when I initially heard it. I think over the past couple months to a year, it aged better than I thought it would.
Right.
But it didn't really sound like the successor that I wanted it to be. You feel me? It's just such a great project. Maybe the deluxe will give it a little bit more credence.
I don't know. I'd be more excited if he was just announcing a whole new thing entirely. I'm not.
Well,
I mean,
and
not
that's
that
the
I'm
struggle
not
too.
to
Is
the
he like
deluxe.
He's been teasing a new album too, and that's what's confusing. Like he has a lot going on for an artist who doesn't drop when he says he's gonna drop. So
Yeah.
that's where I think he tied his hands with Anniversary. Is he paired it with being the anniversary album, so he had to drop it 5 years after Trap Soul and whatnot. So he dropped it regardless if it was done or not, which I get, but at the same time, I don't know. That's where he's just been discussing a lot. He said he's gonna drop another project this year, and then he has a 3-part project he's been working on for a long time that people are always asking about. So yeah, being a Bryson fan is weird, but it is exciting that he's got the deluxe coming at the end of the week. I'm personally excited for it. Hopefully it sounds like a more complete version, and that album will last a little bit longer. So locally,
I got full faith.
yeah. Locally, we got, dude, these are 2 artists I have full faith in delivering great projects locally. Richie, MBK Richie and Matthew Cornwell are both dropping in the near future. I don't know an exact date for either of their projects, but they are starting to tease them. I would call it rollout mode, where they're pushing some singles, they're pushing some snippets. Richie's got a single coming on March 1st, one that I believe we played on a competition episode that I'm excited for people to get to hear as an actual release, so.
Oh yeah, I mean, if it's the track that I think it is, and that had OTM Mirror on it, right?
Yep.
Shit was a vibe for sure. It almost won the competition.
City Girls, yep.
Very dope track. Richie's album is gonna be phenomenal. Got to hear a couple tracks off of it. We spoke about Matthews last time, man, and the Sacraments. We played that. That's just a warm-up. I don't even think Sacraments is on the project, and it's one of my favorite local tracks that dropped this year. It is probably the song that I listen to the most out of Upstate from local cats so far in 2021.
It's probably my favorite video that I've seen so far. Of
the year or from Richie?
Of the year from Rick, or of the year of any local artist probably.
That shit was the opening seeds where he's just standing there and then the horrors pop up. It's like kind of flickering.
That says a lot, because a lot of the videos that have come out this year have been clean. It's not like he's up against some slouches for videos. There have been some really good videos, but I would agree that it is very visually appealing. I would put it up there within my top 3 at least of videos that have come out this year, just because of how professional it looks and the quality.
It's not the craziest
on the way by
most wild edits, but it's just clean.
Mm-hmm.
Beach's On the Way video was crazy.
Mm-hmm. That's one that I think of as well.
Yeah, that shit was crazy.
And it's funny because neither of those are songs that I'm like going back to and listening to all the time. Not because they're not good, just because they're not like my type of songs that I'm listening to. But those videos are what I'm going back to for sure.
Yeah, and that's like I said, and it's interesting because I like videos that have like a story to them and a little bit to them, but these ones are so simple that sometimes all you really need is a really good aesthetic and a good camera quality, and that's all, and a good edit. So shout out to them. I'm really excited for both of them to drop, and I think that within the next couple months we'll be talking about official releases from them. So.
Yeah.
No doubt.
A couple other artists that have dropped recently. Ryan Bronson, we talk about him on the podcast all the time in terms of releases. He dropped a track called Here For It. We got Hakuna Matata from No Deuce Balla, Gucci Earrings from LA Stax. Eucalyptus dropped a track called The Light. Fresh World dropped a track called Playboy Fresh. Justin Rogers with a new track titled Promise, and Keegan dropped a new track titled Borrowed Time. So those last two are a little bit different, not necessarily super hip-hoppy, but I think Justin is really on a good path. I listened to his track Promise. I really liked it, so yeah.
Did you hear the Keegan track?
I did, but it was honestly just background music when I played it. I couldn't give you a good, solid review on it. It was just playing, and I didn't give it much time.
Yeah, that's kind of how I was. I didn't love it though. My one listen that I gave it.
Yeah,
I got to check it out. I haven't heard it yet.
Yeah, he's really talented.
Justin Rogers is a beast, though. I think I think he has the potential to really make some strong fucking hits.
Yeah,
he had
does.
some strong fucking hits.
Yeah, that's a fact. He is someone who I've been really impressed with, and I think he's looking to really continue growing. I think he did a lot of growing last year, but he's looking to build on that and continue expanding on that. So I'm excited for him.
He's a student of the game. From what I see, he loves all the greatness that's happening in upstate. He's taking notes, and he just wants to be better. You feel me? That's the vibe I get. And with somebody like Jake in your corner, it's going to happen as long as you're putting the work in.
Yeah,
it's gonna continue to level him up for sure.
And Ryan Bronson, I'm not sure if I told you guys about this. He sent me some beat packs, and he's quite the fucking producer. I did not know that. He is.
Really?
Yeah, he is a really good producer. I had no idea.
That's really dope, considering just how much he works as an artist in general. You know what I mean? To have the time to balance all of that. He is someone who is definitely grinding with music pretty much every free moment he has. It feels like. So shout out to him.
I asked him if he produced a bunch of his music and just didn't really promote it, and he said, nah, not crazy. Like recently, I've been dropping a couple tracks over beats, but most of it is over other people's. But I was very surprised. Like stylistically, it's not the type of music he makes at all. The type of beats that he was sending me, I was very surprised.
That's dope. That's dope. That's a testament to just the talent in the upstate area. A lot of artists are really good at. They're multifaceted. They're not just in one lane.
Very versatile.
So
exactly.
It's really dope. Let's get to some of the topics of discussion. This is one, Sheridan, you were excited to talk about. It's one we got to talk about at the top of the show because it's fresh news. It's important news. Bobby Shmurda has been released from prison. This is dope. I'm excited for Bobby. It's been fucking forever.
So long. It's crazy how long it's been. Like I remember when it was first announced how long he was going to jail. I was like, damn, we're just never gonna hear this dude again because he's just gonna be in jail for forever. I saw a tweet. It said the last time Bobby Shmurda was outside of prison, NBA YoungBoy had no released songs. LeBron was on the Cavs, and Lil Uzi was an underground artist. And it was like Views. It was when Views came out.
Yeah.
That was in the same tweet actually. That's fucking wild. Like the world is different, boy. How big was Spotify and streaming 6-7 years ago? Does anybody know?
Spotify was big still.
I think it was like getting to that point where it was starting to blow up, but. Yeah, I don't really know because I don't think I had Spotify back then. I think back then I was still downloading everything, like stealing it off the internet or however I figured it out. I was never paying for music back then. So
it was until I turned 18, bro. I didn't have nothing. I had SoundCloud and YouTube. That was it. I
was on top of it too. That was something that like because people didn't have Spotify back then where everyone knew the hottest music. So if you were one of the people who was on YouTube downloading shit or getting music early and then playing it for everybody, that was kind of something that was cool at that time. So yeah, I don't think it was Spotify was definitely blowing up and it was becoming a bigger deal, but it was not half as big as it is now.
You think in terms of Bobby Shmurda, before first of all, just shout out Bobby Shmurda because goddamn, it's great to have somebody like that home.
This doesn't happen, bro. Like honest, like not very often where you're someone of that level. You go to prison, you do the extra time, you're brought back. People are actually trying to take care of him so he doesn't necessarily end up in the same type of situation going forward. Like this type of shit don't really happen.
Nah, it's just beautiful. You know, Quavo picking him up from the airport, dropping off 100 racks to him. You feel me? The love, the embracement that he's about to get from the culture. You know, it's not gonna take every fucking headline and be on every news feed all the time like 6ix9ine's release was. But this is gonna be something very wholesome for the hip hop community as a whole. I'm interested to hear when Bobby does his first interview. I want to know exactly what he has to say. Almost more than I want to hear his next song. You feel me?
Definitely way more than I want to hear his next song.
Exactly.
I
think
he's gonna flop.
Well, I don't know what flopping is. Like, cause
I think his first song's gonna come out. It's gonna blow up, go crazy, no matter what it sounds like. Everybody's gonna click on it. It's Bobby's first song. After that, it's gonna just be a slow fade into not being famous because he's not gonna be able to I don't think he's gonna be able to evolve.
It's
into
it's hard to call. I think you
Being-
have a lot of points that I could understand and agree with. I also feel like I'll be super biased just because when Bobby was out, I was big on it, and it's tough though because he was so early in his career that you didn't even know if he was going to be able to maintain the trajectory he was at without going to prison. So
exactly. I was gonna say, what is flopping? Just not selling or having another hot nigga or Bobby bitch, because the chances of him having another one of those are not very high. But I don't consider that Bobby flopping. And another point that you made, I don't think he has a choice on whether he's gonna fall out of fame or not. You feel me? He might not be a Billboard chart-topping artist, but I don't think he'll ever not be Bobby Shmurda. You feel me? I think when Bobby, or if Bobby ever fizzled out in music, he has a career in almost whatever he wants to do, just because of how beloved and respected he is. People will want to.
I'd like to see him like get into like comedy or something like that.
And he's still only 26. Like that's still relatively young for someone who has gone to jail for as long as or gone to prison for as long as he has come back. Like I honestly thought he was in his 30s. That was something that had made me a little bit more skeptical about his ability to have longevity. I think that changes my thoughts a little bit more on because I think he's going to be successful either way. I think that Sheridan makes good points, but yeah, I don't think he'll flop.
I don't think there's any way. Just hearing his like what his sound was, and wait, so did you guys see his Instagram post?
I did not. Probably.
It depends on what it was. Y'all forgot about Bobby or something.
He posted on Instagram. From that fucking movie, whatever movie he posted, and then at the second half of it, there was like a song, and it sounded I couldn't tell if it was definitely him, but it sounded like him, and it was dirt.
Bro, whatever Bobby does to me, I'm just happy for him. You feel me? If he drops a trash ass song and then a trash ass project, go Bobby. You feel me?
No,
I'm
hyped that he's out, and
honest,
I'm way more excited to hear him in interviews. I want to hear more about like Bobby himself more than I want to hear his music, and I want to see him get into other things where I can see his personality and I can see him more than I have to like listen to his music. Not that I didn't like his music when he was first dropping music. I fucked with all that shit. I just don't think
there's a lot of stuff.
Bro, that sound is now outdated.
Nah, bro, I do agree with you, but that was also 7 years ago. You could look at what Bobby was doing, not as crazy innovative, but like if you made a modern rendition of Bobby Bitch, that shit is gonna slap. Bobby Bitch still slaps to this day. I think Bobby has a lane. I think Bobby on some drill beats is going to be crazy. I think Bobby doing some southern flows, if he ever decides to do it, is going to be dumb. And the collabs are going to be crazy. Every fucking body is going to want a Bobby Shmurda feature. That's what I think is going to be crazy. I don't think they're going to have the best producers in the world, the best artists in the world surrounded by this nigga. Whoever he wants to work with, he's going to be able to. I think I have faith in the music. But that's great. That's giving. Bobby hasn't even came out and said, I want to be an artist now that I'm out of prison for 7 years, now that I'm out for the first time since I was a teenager. He hasn't said I want to be a full-fledged artist or I want to drop this many projects or songs. That's people just assuming that. You know,
I think it's a fair assumption that he's coming right back to work, you know.
He's going to drop music, but the mind state that somebody could have coming out of prison, especially in the situation that he was in, you can never assume anything. It's safe to say it's safe to say he's gonna drop a song, and I'm sure he's gonna drop at least a project. But music might not be his first priority. It's really all I'm saying.
Yeah, it's a very interesting time, and it's kind of the perfect time for him to get released. I feel like with just like being able to be sort of the opposite of what Tekashi 6ix9ine is, and be someone that hip hop is. Like you said, they're going to be lining up to embrace him just to be the opposite of 6ix9ine. It's like, so I think that in that point, like he's in a really good position where a lot of artists already have talked about wanting to work with him. I think every artist in the game would be in a position where they would want to work with him in some fashion right now until he comes back. And if he does flop, I think at that point he won't have as many people wanting to work with him, but I think he will have a continued position within certain lanes of hip hop no matter what. I think what has gone on with him is very interesting. So
Absolutely, absolutely.
So it's
I think.
definitely.
Well, I think 6ix9ine came out in a perfect time for 6ix9ine to get out of prison because the
That's
pandemic
true
was
too.
happening, everything was shut down, and he got to sit for a little bit. I think Bobby would have benefited from more of an open environment that he can get right out of prison and start hitting
Start doing
venues and doing
shows,
shows.
yeah.
Exactly. So I think
Because he
it
could
kind
do
of
shows right now without even dropping music. Like he could
exactly
just
That's
he
true.
would. Well, and so I think it kind of hurts him a little bit that it's the pandemic,
Yeah.
but I don't think it's anything that he won't be able to.
The
to overcome.
pandemic part definitely does hurt him. I just think that there are other factors just in general in music. Like New York is still buzzing, but there's not really a person to be that front runner face of New York. People
New
will
York
be
is
dying to put Bobby in that position of king of New York or the face of New York for right now. That's one positive for him. The being the opposite of Tekashi, stuff like that. But the pandemic definitely screws him.
I think New York is in the best position that it's been rap wise in at least 5 years, debatably 10.
you think everyone's gonna forget he worked with Tekashi?
I don't
I
think
did.
that matters
I
at
did.
all. I don't think that matters at all. I think that kind of made sense. I
I
think
agree that it made sense. I don't hold it against him at all. I'm just saying like
it also was before
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I don't think anybody's holding it against A Boogie or Fetty Wap or Nicki
Nah.
Minaj. Well, maybe Nicki because she dropped another track after.
well is anyone even thinking about Fetty Wap right now?
Yeah. I mean, yeah, Fetty just dropped the project in January, I think.
Yeah, it was fire, but I didn't know anyone else listened to it.
I mean, not as many people are checking out for Fetty Wap, and it's a damn shame. But
Because I think I like his new music better than his older shit, honestly.
it's not as innovative. But Fetty is another artist that just suffered from. He was really on top of the world. Like Fetty's rise and his peak was insane. And musically, I think he was able to keep going, but it's hard to keep that trajectory and just that star status, especially with all the things that happen with him behind the scene.
Yeah, and
But
sometimes
I
you just
agree.
don't like when you're dropping hit after hit after hit after hit after hit. Eventually, you're not going to be able to maintain that type of quality. So they
Well,
could have
shit,
been
I
a little
can't-
bit smarter on how they released his
Well,
product.
the sound of music switched soon after
Fetty,
that
what
because
Fetty,
he was like
yeah.
he was in like 2014 ish. I want to say when like Trap Queen and that stuff was coming out, and then you talk about what happened in like 2016 when you had the Lil Uzis and the Lil
Yeah.
Yachty's and all that. And not that Fetty Wap wasn't part of that, but it wasn't the same sound as what Fetty Wap was putting out. And that kind of everything kind of switched to more of the like Uzi type of sound.
I think Fetty could have did something and modernized his flow to sound more like them. But I also think
I think he did in a way.
So, yeah, on this last project, if anybody listened to it, he's definitely he's definitely in now the modern generation of music. But Fetty he helped create this modern generation of music. It's just sometimes the pioneers have trouble adjusting to all the little intricacies and new ways that other people run with the style. You feel me?
Yeah.
Fetty is great, and he was very influential to a lot of these cats. And his little run is hard to compete with for
He's
anybody.
a testament to where longevity in music is just it's a tough thing to have. Even when you're at the top of the
one of the only
game.
guys who was able to do it
Yeah. So
in that lane.
And yo, I'm not about to say nothing bad about Young Thug right now.
yeah.
Well,
Shout out
it's
to
not-
Young
I mean-
Thug. Shout out to Young
No,
Thug and Quavo for
you're right.
taking care
You're
of
right. I
Bobby
agree
through all
with you.
this. But
I was about
you
to throw
about
a
to start
backhanded
hating?
compliment, and there was no need for it.
all right, let's keep it pushing. Let's talk about another
Young Thug's
topic.
goated.
Donald Glover signed a deal with Amazon. I think this is really interesting because his Atlanta series was something that was really popular on FX. Now he's got a deal with Amazon, which is dope because I think that they said this is like a 8-figure deal. He got a lot of money off of this. His brother also signed a deal off of this. He's going to get his own type of network through Amazon Prime where he's able to curate a bunch of different content. So this is dope. Donald Glover has consistently been an artist who I don't even think people would have believed he could have done half of this shit when you first heard of Childish Gambino, and then to see what he's done and become is amazing.
I don't. Childish Gambino Donald Glover, whatever you want to call him. He is definitely one of the best artists of this generation, entertainers, multifaceted thinkers. He's unfucking believable. Even when you listen to his funny satirical music, the lyrical content is very impressive. The arrangements, the melodies, and then when you look at these entrepreneurial moves that he makes consistently, it's just beautiful to see. He just also got a role. And have you all ever seen the Brad Pitt and Angelina movie, Mr. and Mrs. Smith?
Yeah.
They're recreating it as a TV show, and Donald Glover is Mr. Smith.
That's what's up.
Oh, that's sick.
Yeah, bro, it's about to.
I didn't hear about that.
Like I don't know where his ceiling is. You feel me? He's Jordan Peele. He's fucking Tyler the Creator. He's fucking Lil Dicky. He's literally everybody in one. He's the funny. He's the best singer. He's the best rapper. Like, not literally the best, but you know what I mean. I don't know where he's gonna be.
He can do it all. He can do it all. And
it's legendary.
We don't even know all the things that he can do at this point.
Because he just keeps
crazy.
topping himself. He's someone that if you would put a ceiling on him a couple years ago, you'd have been wasting his time because he would have broke through it 5 times by now, just in the different stuff he's done. And I think that's a testament to what you can do once you craft a lane in one thing. You don't have to just stay in that lane. If you find different ways to get outside of it, the things you can do are amazing. Because like I said, I saw a Childish Gambino concert in like 2013, maybe 2012, where I was like, I would have never guessed the things that he's able to accomplish at this point. Like an 8-figure deal with Amazon, like that's insane. Being able to get your family a deal, being able to get other, like, this is creating jobs for other people too. Like, the amount of shit he has done is amazing. So,
but platinum and Grammy nominated albums, acclaimed stand-up specials, a list of TV shows that are crazy successful that have cult followings, movies where
damn near every show he does, like,
yo, it's literally unbelievable. Like, you're muted, Sheridan. You literally can't. I don't know any other artist that has what he has under his belt. Especially that got, I don't know, bro. There's rappers that have dabbled into TV and movies and have done it very, very well. But what he's done in such a short amount of time, whilst maintaining active in music, dropping.
And just the sheer quality. Like, a lot of rappers have gone. A lot of rappers have gone in the TV, and they like it was really popular, or like a lot of people watched it, but like maybe it wasn't actually that good. Atlanta is genuinely one of the best shows I've ever watched. The second season, I think, stacks up with
the second season is fucking ridiculous.
Any season of any show I've ever watched, the second season of Atlanta can compete with, I think. He's one of, like he said, one of the best singers out there right now. I mean, Awaken My Love, I think is one of the best albums of that decade. Probably a top 20 album of that decade.
Bro, when you listen to Redbone and somebody tells you that this is Childish Gambino, it's literally like, what? Like, this is because the internet, dude, like like this is the bonfire guy, the little skinny black kid from Community, like I don't know, bro.
It's crazy when you think about it, right? Like, just the different stuff, and like, and he's still relatively young to have done this much shit. Like, you think he's 37, to have accomplished this much, it's very insane to think about what he can accomplish going forward. Somewhat related, Jay-Z just did a new deal that people were talking about all over social media, and so to compare the two, what type of path will Donald Glover be on if he continues at the same rate that Jay-Z is? Like, he's kind of the Jay-Z of this generation, or what you see spawned from the inspiration that is Jay-Z. He's able to inspire other artists to do that type of shit, and then bigger going forward. What will Donald Glover inspire from the generation beyond him?
Yeah,
it's crazy because as much as, like, I do see the comparison, because in Jay-Z's time, nobody has done what Jay-Z has done. Nobody, like, Jay-Z didn't do it any way that Donald Glover's now doing.
Yeah.
So, like, that's what's crazy.
Like, I agree with you. I see the comparison, and it's valid, but I would say Donald Glover, in a very respectful way, is like a spawn of what Jay-Z did.
Yeah,
And he
that's what I
took
was
it
trying
and
to get
went
to.
farther, you feel me? Like, not necessarily farther. Jay's a billionaire. He has unlimited ventures, but he did expand on what he was doing. Like, Jay laid out the blueprint to opening and diving into different
And
paths.
I think the really what the difference is not that Donald Glover isn't taking over in a business sense, but I think Donald Glover is more so taking over like the artist industry, just in terms of acting, singing, dancing, rapping, all that together, movies, TV. Jay-Z more so took over like business ventures and things like
Yeah.
that. He more so took over like that side of things. And again, like what Donald Glover's doing is also within business, but he hasn't completely stepped outside of really his realm of what he's good at. He's really still just doing things within artistry. Jay-Z went into things like wine and liquor and other things like that.
You're absolutely right about that. On Donald Glover's path, though, I could see him
Going into other things.
Yeah, for sure, if he's not already. But I could also see him getting half a bill or approaching that type of money because of how many different lanes he's in.
Definitely.
And he's not only getting the performance shares, he's getting the writing shares, he's getting the directing shares, he's getting the back ends, he's getting his music royalties, he's getting streams from like he has so many different revenue streams. It's almost unbelievable.
Yeah, it is crazy.
And people like Lil Dicky. Do you think Dave is as successful on FX without something like Atlanta being on before? Even though they're completely different in different aspects, without a rapper who's kind of funny and does comedy stepping in on a specific platform and doing that before.
Dave doesn't even happen.
Exactly. But Dave is a phenomenal show. I honestly think it's very great. But I don't think it happens without something like Atlanta with Childish Gambino first.
Yeah, and my bigger point to mentioning Jay-Z wasn't necessarily to say that Donald Glover was doing exactly what he did. It was more so to say, like, Jay-Z's at 51, still accomplishing shit, still doing shit. Like, where will Donald Glover be when he's doing that? And what kind of people what kind of stuff will he inspire? Because, like you said, with Dave, it gave that opportunity. So it's very interesting.
I think by the time he's Jay-Z's age, he will be into more things like what Jay-Z's doing. I don't know if it'll necessarily be liquor, but he'll have started his own businesses probably outside of really what he's doing within the artistic realm.
I think he'll get into activism too, more so than he already is. I think he'll have some more shit to say, more shit that he wants to accomplish on those philanthropic goals, because I know he's a very deep-minded person and has things that he wants to say to the world.
Absolutely. Another artist who had things he wanted to say to the world, and it might have cost him the better part of his life. Kanye West is getting divorced from Kim Kardashian. People are saying that this stems from his actions during his run for presidency. If you guys remember, he was saying all kinds of wild shit about Kim, about his family. So apparently this is what has cost him his relationship. So
I don't have too many comments on this. I'm not gonna hold you, but I don't know.
At least he got a prenup. At least he lived the song, because for someone, he's a billionaire now, bro. So that's some shit he's got to worry about.
Yeah, but Kim got a lot of her own money.
He's got like double. He's got like. Well, here's the difference, though. Here's the difference. What Kanye has in terms of net worth is more so comprised of like immovable assets, while what Kim has is liquid money. So like if Kim wanted to buy something more expensive than what Kanye could buy, she could probably do it. Kanye would have to sell things to do so. A lot of what he has is within his business. A lot of what Kim has is a lot of what Kim
right now versus
a lot of Kim stuff is business too. I think she probably has more liquid cash than he does, but she does a lot through business as well. So
it's significant though. how much more liquid money she has. Than
Either
Kanye.
way
I was
though, when
reading- I
when
was-
you're
I
getting
was reading
divorced, that
about
type
this
of
last
shit
week.
can still be split up. He
I
could have
wasn't-
lost pieces of his business through the divorce, so it is something where
is tragic, but
it's
I
rich
think
people dividing rich people money, so who really gives a shit? But my biggest takeaway is at least he's the one hollering, "We want prenup." At least he followed through with it.
We want prenup. We want prenup. That's a big fact. But also, I don't know what their specific contract or prenup in states. But nobody cheated on anybody, or that's not in the news. It doesn't seem like that's the reason that they're getting divorced.
He's just crazy.
Exactly, which I don't think.
Well, he tweeted that she and Meek Mill met.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Like
I'm sure they have had sex with other people during their marriage. But I'm just saying it doesn't seem like that's the reason that they're divorcing, and I don't think that's what they're going to be bringing to the table. Like,
it seems like it'll be relatively amicable too. But
exactly. I hope Kanye mental health is good. I hope Kim's doing well, but I don't really have shit to say on this. You feel me? I never really thought their marriage was gonna last.
Yeah, I agree with that. They've lasted way long. Yeah. Way longer than I expected. And he kind of lucked out with who she is, because a lot of people would drag him for a lot of the shit that he's doing, regardless of the fact that they have kids. She hasn't really said much that could really...
She can't.
Well, she could, because we've seen it before with other relationships in the past. I think Kanye could have ended up with the wrong person. He's crazy. Like, he might not be crazy. He's dealing with shit openly in the public, and rather than be someone who's going to just bury him and let him fall on the sword and be the one who looks like a piece of shit, she doesn't say much, and when she does say stuff, it doesn't tear him down.
The Kardashians next season, bro. They
probably
are
saving
it for the next season of keeping up with the Kardashians.
You got it.
Kim has such a huge support fan base, people that look up to her, but she also is one of the most commonly hated people on the planet, and if she says she has to be so careful with what she says or tweets, especially for what she's got going on. I don't think she could bash Kanye on social media even if she truly wanted to, especially because of how much she's played the supportive role throughout this marriage during his mental health crises. I feel like it would just leave a bad taste in people's mouth.
I think that's just kind of the Kardashian game plan, because we've seen all of them kind of end up in relationship struggles where they don't go out that way in terms of really destroying other people on the way down. They try to keep it quiet, get through it, and so I don't know. It's not a big deal. It's a divorce I think everybody saw coming from a long ways away. So
I mean, every year there was a headline saying they're about to get divorced until right now. I wouldn't even be surprised if they don't end up getting divorced. But I don't know. So
that's why it's more surprising now, I guess, because we've heard it for so long that it's I'm surprised that it's finally actually happening, and I'll believe it if I see it. But yeah.
I don't like talk about people's marriages too much, or lack thereof, I should say.
Yeah. So, next topic. This one's a little bit. No, this is positive in a way. Pop Smoke passed over a little over a year ago, but the interesting positive part of that is he's still number 4 on the Billboard Top 10 albums. He's been on the top 10 for 33 weeks. He's been on the chart for 33 weeks. I'm sure he's been within the top 10 for a majority of that. What an insane run. It's a testament to the career he would have had, so it is obviously unfortunate, but to have that longevity with an album, it's a testament to a lot of people who were calling that album one of the best albums last year, too. I think that's undoubtable.
For the run that I was on, it's just a true tragedy. Pop would have had a very long career, would have thrived for a very long time. He even got into acting before he perished, which is very sad. I'm excited to see the movie Boogie. I don't know if you guys saw the trailer for that. Looks kind of cool. Pop starred in a fucking movie, and Pop starred in a movie, and it's about this Asian kid who lives in the hood, and he's a basketball player, and he gets into a beef with this rival school and shit, and Pop Smoke is the lead antagonist from what it seems.
I think I might have actually, now that you say that, I might have heard something about that.
Yeah, it looks crazy, and it's just another testament on top of charting for so long with this great posthumous album of what he would have done, even beyond stretching off of the Donald Glover talk. I didn't peg Pop Smoke as somebody that was really gonna dabble too much in the films and shit, but
Yeah.
clearly he had bigger aspirations.
It's that's that 50 comparison really that
Mhm.
he's been getting.
And he fast tracked that shit so much. He was 50 took a long time to get into the media. I guess not too much.
He was younger. He was
50
younger than I am. Like
Yeah.
Pop was a little younger than I am.
He was like 20, right?
Yeah, that's one of the things that always bums me out
19,
too, is
yeah.
recognizing just how young he was, how much time he had to build on what he had already accomplished or was going to accomplish. It's definitely an unfortunate situation, but it's
Pop
good.
was about.
Go
Pop
ahead.
was about. I was just gonna say, Pop was about how old Bobby was when he went to prison, which is crazy to think about.
So yeah, it's good to see that his music is still performing well. It comes as no surprise to me. His album is one of the ones that I consistently went back to myself, and yeah, so I imagine a lot of other people did the same last year and over the continuing that past that. An artist I don't know if people are going to be running back to right now. Sheridan definitely won't be. Meek Mill. People leaked a verse or a track he had with Lil Baby, I believe it was, and he had some line, a questionable line about Kobe Bryant. People were really pissed off about this. And then it got even a little bit worse when Kobe's wife had spoken out about the line. She critiqued Meek about the line. She said that she'd never actually heard a Meek Mill song, but she still thought that he could do better, and it was disrespectful. Meek said some shit on social media, which people are interpreting as a response. I hope it wasn't, because it's so fucking stupid and ignorant to respond that way. I hope he was just responding to other shit, didn't recognize, but who knows? Sheridan, let's get your takeaway.
I personally don't really have that much of a problem with the line. I don't really I think it's something that like in rap a lot of people use lines like that. I just think that it's another case of just another strike on the Meek Mill is a cloud chaser type of narrative that I have going on, I think. I don't think it's like if someone said that about my family member in a rap line, I wouldn't be that upset. I understand why Vanessa Bryant would be if she doesn't totally understand how those lines are used.
I'm sure she does.
I personally would never would never do that. I just think that it's kind of a corny, tacky thing to do. But I don't think it's wildly disrespectful. Personally, that's just my take.
It's more stupid than anything to me. I'm like, how are you this dumb?
It's a stupid, especially just about Kobe. It's you should know that's the one person. Probably don't do that.
I mean, well, if it was a good bar, if it was if it was clever or
not even, it was just dumb.
It was lazy.
So, but I trying to cancel Meek over this is absolutely is absolutely ridiculous. And a testament to how iffy and selective cancel culture is. And it's scary how much power fans can have sometimes. But if the line, I listen to battle rap and have for the majority of my life. Shit like this happens all the time. And there have been about 10 or 15 Kobe lines that I've heard referencing a chopper in battle rap. I've seen tweets in the battle rap community the day Kobe passed that were the first nigga to say a Kobe line is getting jumped off stage. And people still did it. Meek comes from a battle rap background. He relies off gimmicky punchlines when he's not going full floors, trying to be real as can be. This was just cringy and corny. I don't think it was absolutely abhorrent or horrible. It was disrespectful, poor timing, and just not a good line. This could have all been avoided by being more creative. This was shock value at its finest.
Well, and to his defense, I guess you could say this wasn't. Yeah, it wasn't supposed to come out. It was a leak.
I think somebody was like, "Oh, Meek Mill's looking bad. Let me leak this."
Well,
that's
the fucked up
really
part. Is
bad.
this leaked in October? This has been out, and then it just resurfaced right after the Tekashi thing. It's no surprise that this resurfaced, but I'm almost positive because when I was looking it up, trying to find the track, there were posts from it or about it in October about people saying, "Oh, there's this leaked Lil Baby Meek Mill track floating around," and then it came out a lot more broad, obviously, as people found out about it. So I guess I give it the defense of it wasn't meant to come out, and then it leaked, but
It doesn't. It just doesn't. It doesn't bother me that much. I think it's just like I said. It's another strike in the cloud chasing.
It makes no sense. It's just like it's like, I don't know. I'm glad that Ant brings the perspective of Meek having the background of battle rap, because it makes me understand it a little bit more. But it's like, I don't like, and I get it. It happens in music, but how often is it actually like disrespectful this quick from an artist at Meek's level? And maybe not intentionally disrespectful, but it obviously wasn't a respectable line. It wasn't trying to say anything positive about Kobe. So
Lil Wayne, this is not the most disrespectful line of all time. It's just that Kobe is such an iconic figure and went out in such a terrible, tragic way that you probably shouldn't reference it for clout. Like,
especially not within a year after he died.
Well, I mean, Freddie Gibbs, Kobe died. I swear, a nigga might cry when I watch the Lakers. You feel me? Mad people have used Kobe in a line.
But that feels more like paying homage to him than just using it as a lazy line that at the base level it means nothing, and at some type of level could be interpreted as disrespectful. It's like, I agree it's not the most disrespectful line, but it's just like, dude, read the room. Read the fucking room.
Lil Wayne, when he was probably at his peak and considered the best rapper of alive, said, I think he said, I beat the pussy like Emmett Till or some shit. You feel me? And Emmett Till, I'm not about to get into the story of that. Y'all can Google him if you want. It's fucking awful. But there's been way worse lines said by bigger artists than Meek Mill. Eminem has albums full of lines that are worse than this, and even in worse taste. A song about killing his wife brutally and burying her. You feel me? Like, there's things. It's just in 2021,
of people will say, well, that's why Eminem sucks.
Yeah, but I'm in 2021 when a lot of people walk on eggshells and there's this over wide sense of political correctness, and you're supposed to do this and that. People hold you to a higher accountability for what you say and do than they used to now more than ever, and Meek has to know that, basically. Like, people, I'm mad that I open my Facebook and I still see this. People trying to cancel Meek or saying they're done with him or this and that, blah, blah. Today I woke up, dudes is like, oh man, I'm done with him. I had so much respect for Meek and now it's just gone. You never had respect for Meek if it's gone.
Nah,
right
bro,
now.
they're upset that he sent that cease and desist to Tekashi 6ix9ine and got that video removed. I'm like, okay, what is your guys' take on this? Because I'm very surprised to see people opposing Meek at this. Yeah.
That's because a lot of niggas could never send a cease and desist for anything, you feel me? So they don't even realize how much of a boss move this is.
It's just smart.
It's just smart, and I don't know if it was Meek's idea, I don't know if it was his legal teams, but this is what you do. You guys stop shit in a boss classy way. You what, son? And this is like a fucking... I guess it's not exactly like this, but Academics and Freddie Gibbs got into a little debacle, you feel me? And Freddie Gibbs just took what Academics said about him and put it on a t-shirt and just started selling them shits, you feel me? And it was like humility, it was class, and just a great business decision. Right now, Meek is playing chess. That cease and desist is just like, checkmate, bitch. What you gonna do now? Like, go ahead and bitch.
He did get the last laugh there. That's what I would say in terms of...
Did the video get taken down?
Yeah. They pulled the video. All that's up now is just a video for like a lyric version of Zaza, but you can't watch the video at all. So it's like, damn, that's like I said in the group chat, that's 30 million streams down the drain that you now have to like re-upload the video if you want to re-upload it without that, or just now the video's a waste. You know what I mean? Like,
I will say, this does show that Meek cares about it. And some people feel like Meek is still above this and that he shouldn't be giving any type of exposure or credence to this. But I
I
feel
think
like
to that point, I agree with that, but to this point, it's like you're actually using Meek and like his face is in the video. You'd be
well, not
stupid
you.
not to do that.
You would be stupid not to do it. You're not about to get paid in popularity off of my likeliness, nigga.
Yeah,
Especially
exactly.
Yeah,
if
well,
you
yeah,
want to try
because
to
what
beef
if,
with me.
well,
Like,
what if
Yeah,
he lets the
exactly.
video go and then Tekashi starts dropping like a T-shirt with Meek's face on it, saying the exact same shit, kind of what you said Freddie Gibbs did.
he can
And
still do that. He can still do that.
well, I mean, if you get hit with a cease and desist for having him in a video, you might not be or you might not entertain the idea as much. You might not want to go through the legal hassle of potentially producing a bunch of T-shirts now that you're unable to sell. So I think it's a smart, like you guys said, boss move from Meek. I think this could be the best way for him to cap it off. Like, there's really not a better way to walk away from this. You've kind of had your moments where you look like an idiot. You've had your moments where you look okay. This is probably the best you're going to look coming out of this situation with Tekashi. Get the video pulled. Never interact with him again. That's the last he can gain clout off of you. I think more artists are starting to recognize this. You hope to see more artists start to recognize this, as a lot of the artists that are interacting with Tekashi at this point are artists who can kind of benefit off of his clout, not the other way around.
Oh, I would agree with that. I mean, Tekashi is gonna keep throwing in his little fishing reel and getting anybody that's stupid enough to respond to him. He's gonna keep doing it. There's no chance that Tekashi's never going to be the bigger man until proven otherwise, I guess. And I feel bad for the next person that gets sucked down and tries to play with that nigga.
I want to see J. Cole versus Tekashi.
They're just all they would do is a sit down interview like he did with Lil Pump, and he would ask him, "Why did you do it?"
I love that.
Yo, I'm not gonna hold you, son. I would hate to see that.
I would hate that with 6ix9ine.
I would hate
I love that.
It would be rough. It
was just awesome because like
everyone else would be
totally,
hating
like,
on J. Cole with Sheridan. That's the only reason he would be about it.
I would not be hating on J. Cole. I thought what he did with Lil Pump was awesome.
I just don't know how you could do that with Tekashi and have it be awesome.
No, I don't think you could do that. I don't think you could. I just was saying what he did with Lil Pump was sick.
Hopefully,
Especially because Lil Pump was just like, yeah. He just like didn't really have much to say. J. Cole was like speaking like an actual human.
Fair enough. Hopefully, after this incident with Tekashi, we don't got to speak on Tekashi too much more, because all there really is to speak on him with is him talking about people's dead friends and family members, and that's trash. So I thought it was funny the music video got pulled. Something else that was kind of funny in terms of music getting pulled and stuff like that, and this really doesn't pertain to, I think, any of our audience necessarily, but we can have a good conversation based off of it, is Metallica. They did a concert for BlizzCon. This was a virtual concert. They produced it on YouTube, Twitch, a couple other channels. But when they played it on Twitch's gaming channel, they pulled the audio. So Metallica was playing their own music, but Twitch still pulled the audio because they were afraid of potentially breaking copyright law. So if you're tuned into this live stream, you're watching a Metallica concert, you got it switched out with some noise that sounded like literal baby music. It was fucking hilarious. But I think the bigger point to take away from this is just artists having their own music pulled when they're trying to do a performance.
It doesn't. I could see a company trying to avoid whatever they can to not get into legal issues. But at the end of the day, why are those laws in place?
Mm-hmm.
Or at least you gotta alter them or edit them in some way for this new world where virtual concerts are not gonna go anywhere. You're gonna see artists doing these for probably ever until there's a next way to do them. You feel me? There's still going to be regular concerts and shit, but this is not something that can keep happening. This is the first time that I've heard about this. It's funny. It's comical. I know a lot of artists that go live on Facebook and Instagram and it cuts them off very shortly while playing their own music. But at the end of the day, not a lot of artists own the rights to their music. Not a lot of artists copyright their own shit or have their shit in a way that it actually is theirs to own. The fact that Metallica can get their music pulled and not played properly is kind of crazy.
Yeah, I agree 100%. And it's funny because it doesn't really even hurt Metallica as much as it does whichever place wanted them to do a virtual concert, and then all of a sudden the audio is pulled for that section of viewers, and they were still able to show the concert on a majority of the primary channels, but it's like Twitch's algorithm that does this, and that's what happens, like you said, to artists locally and stuff, where the algorithm will catch their music and pull it, even though it's their music or something that they think they have the rights to. So it's definitely an interesting thing. It's definitely really funny in terms of Metallica, because they're the band that took Napster to court in 2000. They kind of ushered in the age of new copyright laws and protecting people's music a lot more. And I think one of them had even done an interview afterwards to kind of be like, well, we kind of fucked that up. But
yeah, I don't know. I don't even know how to navigate around that. It's obviously above my pay grade.
Yeah, it's just funny, like how you go from being the people who were trying to lead the way for copyright, and then you're doing a concert 20 years later and you can't play your own music because of a copyright thing. It's very interesting.
You know, they still got paid, though.
Oh yeah, that's a fact.
You know, they still got the bag.
I just want
to hear the music.
Dude, it's hilarious. It's literally like baby music. It's funny as fuck. I can't imagine imagine being some old guy who's really pumped for fucking Metallica. You're like, this is my favorite song. I remember when they played this back in the day, and then it's just some bullshit. Like, he's probably mad. Some old guy was breaking some shit.
Yeah, I was gonna say, a
lot of old guys
got broken that day.
Like, this is why I don't use the fucking internet.
Like, they thought it was something that they did or fucked up.
They thought their kids were fucking with them. Yeah, that's hilarious. The last topic is one that I think is interesting. I hope me and Sheridan can argue a little bit. But Cardi B's Invasion of Privacy becomes the first album by a female rapper to spend 150 weeks on the Billboard 200. Every week, Cardi is breaking new records. Is she the best female artist in hip-hop today? I say yes. I would wonder who you could say is potentially rivaling her.
Is she the most successful female artist in hip hop right now? Yes. I'll give you that. Is she the best female artist in hip hop right now? Absolutely not.
Okay. See, that's bullshit. You just threw the whole argument out the window. You ruined it. But I mean, you're pretty much right. You're right. She is definitely the most successful. Who would you say then is the best female hip hop artist right now?
I think it's debatable. I think there are a lot of like really good female artists in hip hop right now. I don't know if there's like, I mean, if you think about the male top spot, is there a male top spot?
Yeah, that's Cardi, really bro. That's it. Like who else would be in the female top spot besides Cardi? She's competing with like the Taylor Swifts of the world, bro. She could be the top artist, female artist in general, let alone
but we're talking
top
about
hip hop
right
artist.
Now. We're talking about best right now. We're talking about best, like best.
I don't listen to enough female artists to have a subjective opinion on who would be the best or not the best. So I'll always ride with Cardi.
So I'll always ride with Cardi. I hear you on that, bro. And Cardi has a case. She is shattering records left and right. I'm hesitant. I'm not gonna call her the best artist in hip hop right now. But I'm not gonna just limit it to most successful. I would say currently at this point in time, like for the past couple years, she has been the greatest. I would say year two actually, she has been the greatest female rapper in the industry. When you say hip hop artist, though, you widen it to so many different people, to not just rappers or people in her position. You feel me? There's a lot of talented females in the industry that just don't come near to what Cardi is doing numbers wise or in the public eye. But she's phenomenal.
Black, No Name, Rico Nasty,
Rhapsody, even Young M.A. Young M.A. will bar Cardi to death. You feel me? There's a lot of talented people. There's 7th Ave, the genius in Buffalo. You feel me? I was bumping her last night. She's fucking unbelievable.
It's
but
Love the Genius, bro. Love the Genius. It's spelled crazy, but yeah, I figured that out a couple weeks ago.
That's crazy. I was listening to a podcast. They called her 7th Ave, the genius.
Oh.
So thank you for you just put me on where I never sound stupid like that again, thanks to you.
There we go. You guys are definitely right. Like music, the female music scene is definitely in a great position. Like I said, I don't pay enough attention to say that it's the best position it's ever been in, but I would imagine it's pretty close with the amount of.
We didn't even mention Doja Cat. Doja Cat's she's crazy.
Doja Cat is super talented, bro. I can't. She is not in the conversation for the best female artist right now, in my opinion.
She has no place in this conversation at all.
She's
not as successful as Cardi. She's not as good as.
She's a better rapper than Cardi. She's a better singer than Cardi.
But she's not better than some of the other female artists. Like, we're talking about the best artist or the most successful. She falls like in between. If she's kind of successful, she's kind of good, but not.
I think she's a better singer than a lot of the women that we mentioned, and she sings within hip hop music. I think she's in the conversation.
I'm gonna
just as much as Cardi is.
I've heard. I like Doja Cat's music, and some songs even way better than a lot of Cardi songs. And I would agree with you. She sings undebatably better than Cardi. Cardi can't sing for shit. And Cardi doesn't even write her raps. So all of this is weird. You feel me? And all of her raps. I don't want to say Cardi doesn't write any of her raps. So she's somebody who admittedly has a ghostwriter, but and admittedly says that she'll take your song and flip it, but also will be like, what are you gonna do about it? I'm gonna get that #1 spot. I'm gonna hit the charts, and I'm gonna be Cardi B. So I don't really see anybody. You can't if it's not Nicki Minaj, then there's nobody. That's how I feel about it. You feel me? Cardi B is that bitch for right now.
Well, it is Nicki Minaj. Nicki Minaj is way better than her.
Nicki Minaj writes a lot of her own raps. You feel me? And she can sing, like a little bit. She has a lot of singing tracks. I would say Nicki Minaj is a better artist than Cardi B, but for the past couple of years, it's Cardi B's world and not Nicki's.
I agree that Cardi B is definitely way more popular than Nicki is right now. I just think that
I wouldn't even say I want to just say more popular. Even the music that they put out, Cardi's is substantially better. But that doesn't make her a better artist. That just means right now, it's been Cardi's time, but it's also one of the first times in hip hop history. Andrew said he doesn't know too many female artists, so he couldn't speak on this. He assumed it was the best place, but it is. It absolutely is the most female rappers that have ever thrived at the same time right now, and a lot of that has to do with Cardi B. She has embraced almost every female that has came across her in the music industry. Extended olive branches to them, you feel me, and has done whatever she could, at least in the public eye, to help them and at least lead the stigma to where more than one female could be at the top. Nicki did so much to take away from everybody else that ever tried to rival her. That's one thing that I always give Cardi B. She ushered in a new era for female rappers, in my opinion. And doing that,
it definitely worked both ways. Cardi did like the Drake formula almost, where she worked with a lot of upcoming female artists who were really good and could add some level to her music that she wasn't able to, or she was able to feature on their music and her fans were able to hear her do something different. Like, there was enough that she did with features and stuff like that that did help broaden the range of female music and bring in more female artists to the public eye, or maybe not help bring them more to the public eye, but just because there was always that idea that there couldn't really be more than one female hip-hop artist who was at the top, and this kind of got rid of that, where Cardi was a lot more embracing to some of the other female artists coming up. So
back in the day, there was a lot of female rappers going in. Like, I'm not gonna say there was Foxy, there was Queen Latifah, you feel me, there was Lauryn Hill, there was a lot of people that were going in, but none of them were ever like at the top, you feel me? Lauryn Hill has one of the best albums of all time, you feel me? But this run that Cardi B was on, the legacy that Nicki has, it's crazy. They're cemented in hip hop. Nicki is gonna be on a higher place in the all-time list than Cardi B forever. I don't think that'll ever
I don't agree.
As an artist,
absolutely.
As an artist, I don't think. Well, bro, Cardi doesn't write the majority of her music. Like,
I agree. I understand that, but I think in terms, okay.
And when you talk about greatness, when you talk about greatness, like what Nicki did, and I haven't been a fan of Nicki's music in a long time. But
But
and
there are
even
so
her
many
actions.
artists in other realms who are very successful who don't write a majority of their music. So I feel like
But not in hip hop. In hip hop, when you talk about rappers, you're not gonna be able to put Cardi above Nicki Minaj, and it's not just
like
because of the writing. It's not just because of the writing. What Nicki did at the time that she did it, Nicki was rivaling Drake and Lil Wayne out the gate and outperforming Drake for a while. Like you feel me? Like Nicki
right.
was the biggest, and I don't think Cardi could have ever did that.
But I feel like Cardi's transitioning more into the pop lane. Like, and I guess we were probably having two separate conversations where you're speaking more on talent than success. But I feel like in terms of success, like she has a chance to rival Nicki and what Nicki did in terms of success. Because while Cardi isn't necessarily
not as a rapper though.
That's what I'm saying. What I just purely as a rapper, I think Cardi will. And maybe has already debatably done more things outside of music than Nicki Minaj. You feel me? There's mad shit that Cardi has done. Nicki has her podcast now, and she's done shit. It just hasn't been publicized like what Cardi does. When you talk about the public spectrum, like what Cardi does is always at the front. You feel me? It's her world right now. And she has her foot in many different bags. Nicki will probably do some movies before her career is over. Cardi already has a movie. She's already done TV. She's already done this and that. You feel me? She has such a wide array of things she's stepped into. She could overcome Nicki Minaj if she hasn't already in other facets. I just don't think musically.
You don't think that if Cardi dropped on the same weekend as Drake, and I don't think it would beat Drake, you don't think that it would do similar numbers, competitive numbers to Drake, kind of similar to what Nicki was doing in the past with Drake?
Different time.
I don't think that's necessarily the conversation. I'm not necessarily just talking about strictly numbers. I'm talking about sheer popularity and greatness. Like Nicki Minaj was.
I just feel like you're seriously underestimating the popularity and the sheer popularity and greatness of Cardi at this point right now. Like if Nicki was able to compete with Drake at a point in popularity, at a point where Drake wasn't at his peak, but Cardi is able to compete with Drake at a point where Drake is arguably probably past his peak a little bit, but still the top artist in the game, is her popularity not just as big, if not greater, than Nicki Minaj? Now, she couldn't have done this without Nicki Minaj paving the way and doing that. But I feel like Cardi has built off of that and is a substantially bigger star in general than Nicki was.
So I just checked their Spotify's to check their monthly listeners.
We always check Spotify.
Nicki has dropped one album since 2014, and she has 1 million less monthly listeners than Cardi B. You feel me? Like Cardi B is dropping singles with the most famous people out right now. She will drop a project soon.
Cardi hasn't dropped an album in how long? Like comparatively,
2 years I think, 2019. But I'm saying one album in 7 years. That Nicki Minaj dropped Queen in 2018, I think. And then the last project was 2014. And she's 1 million monthly listeners away. I just, musically, Cardi has a lot. I can't say.
When's the last time Nicki had something like WAP? Like WAP was not that long ago, you know what I mean? Like those types of things are what keep Cardi with those monthly listeners. Nicki is just
the thing that I can't say Cardi will never, but bro, I can't picture Cardi ever having a monster. I can't picture. Cardi could never, or Roman's Revenge. Cardi could never get on a track with Eminem, Jay-Z, and Rick Ross and debatably out-rap them. It could never.
I know that. I mean, I'm not really having that conversation either, and that's why I say that we're kind of having two separate conversations.
But that's why I'm talking strictly rapping-wise, just music-wise. I just don't see that ever happening. Like Cardi, I don't want to count her out, obviously. Like, she just has a lot, and I mean a lot of groundwork to make.
Well, I think in terms of her musical talent, like, she's probably at a peak. Like, she doesn't have much of a reason to get better or to, like, start writing or anything like that. So in terms of, like, that situation, I think it's fair. I think in terms of her popularity, she still could continue going up more. And at this point is more popular than Nicki.
Question.
So, okay.
This is another question. Nicki Minaj, her debut album was in 2010.
Mm-hmm.
Invasion of Privacy was in 2018. We have to see in 2028 what's popping with Cardi musically, because we know over a decade down the line where Nicki's legacy still is, and she's still considered the greatest. If not, it's 1A and 1B. Some people might put Cardi at 1A, but most people still have Nicki number one. If in 2028, Cardi is still musically considered right there, I believe she will always be in the public eye right there. Then this conversation will be different. But she has to have a decade of fucking greatness musically. Nicki Minaj really...
That's fair. The longevity is a great point, but I don't really have much of a worry about Cardi's longevity at this point. I think if she wasn't going to last, she would already started spiraling out. She wouldn't be continuing to hit bigger accolades as she continues releasing. So. And
then if she goes 10 years in the industry without ever writing a full album herself, then how do you compare that? You feel me? Because that has to be spoken to.
I think one thing that can help Cardi B is her ability to step into the Latin lane. I don't think Nicki quite has that ability. So I think that's like just kind of a versatile.
She got Nicki sings better.
No, I know, but I think what I'm saying, I just want.
If somebody came with a Latin hit to Nicki and was like, sing this. Nicki,
yeah, Tekashi will, bro. We'll get it inevitably.
I think, as much as I really don't like Cardi B can sing. She's not a terrible singer. She's on her album. She has a couple songs where she sings. She doesn't not sing at all.
Okay.
We'll see how the next album performs too. You guys are right that it's really early to judge this in much of a way, but I think that
I'll never be better than Nicki though.
Yeah, talent wise, I'm not really gonna have that argument.
If you didn't say best to start off the conversation, Andrew, I have a really big I try to differentiate greatest and best all the time. I feel like the boat is very different than the goat. You feel me?
Yeah, and then at that point, that's where my question is, and we can leave the conversation here. But if anyone in the comments wants to answer who the best female artist in hip hop is right now that you guys think of, because like I said, I'm not super familiar, so I'll check a couple of different artists out. But yeah, I think if we're talking in terms of success, it's hard to argue against Cardi. But there are definitely people making good runs right now. So. Let's talk about some music. Let's play some music. Let's play some local music. This first artist I got to play is someone I'm really excited to play. We played a track of his a while back. He's someone who reaches out to me. He does a good job at reaching out to me. The only issue is he reaches out to me when I'm busy. And so I don't get everything done that I want to. But Dae Birkin dropped a new project titled Hireth that I'm really excited to check out. I think he dropped it within the last couple weeks, maybe a month ago, but it's still relatively new. He has a track on there with Zaudy, and I'm very horrible with names, so sorry if I pronounced that awfully. But I'm excited to hear it. It's a track titled Poppin'. Let's play it, and then we'll talk about it after.
About you wanna drive home on the way from Soho, yeah. Her heart is so cold. I fucked up, she know, yeah. Covered that in rose gold. After that, where we go? Roll the dice like CeeLo. Why you gotta make a scene for? The scene no. Seeming like you got problems, looking like you're waiting for me to come solve. She my little day room goddess. Hoes can't fuck with me, you got it. Why you focused on straight nonsense? Dripping so comfortably, you poppin'. You don't get these niggas no timing. Old dude, he a fiend from over 5 long tenfold. See through no window. Please be straight and home. I fighting demons. It's something you should know. Can't call it treason. It's something you provoke. Guess I'm exposing her. Tell secrets nobody know. Tell secrets nobody know. Thinking about you wanna drive home. On the way from Soho, yeah. Her heart is so cold. I fucked up, she know, yeah. Cover that in rose gold. After that, where we go? Roll the dice like CeeLo. Why you gotta make the scene fold? The scene thinking about you wanna drive home. On the way from Soho, yeah. Her heart is so cold. I fucked up, she know, yeah. Cover that in rose gold. After that, where we go? Roll the dice like CeeLo. Why you gotta make the scene fold? The scene
Think about you when I drive home. On the way from Soho, yeah. Think about it, she's gone for. Please don't check my phone. I can't get nasty. Beg and plead on your knees. Come match my energy. This gon' get tricky. I like him denim and denim Tim boots, and he's always down to come through. So I this beef again. Don't talk about me feelings, how I am. Him too clingy, that's a red flag. Prettiest girl he will ever have. No more issues, so you're not texting back. Gotta call it quits, just leave it at that.
Thinking about you wanna drive home. On the way from Soho, yeah. Her heart is so cold. I fucked up, she know, yeah. Cover that in rose gold. After that, where we go? Roll the dice like CeeLo. Why you gotta make a scene fold? Thinking about you wanna drive home. On the way from Soho, yeah. Her heart is so cold. I fucked up, she know, yeah. Cover that in rose gold. After that, where we go? Roll the dice like CeeLo. Why you gotta make a scene fold? With a scene no.
That was Dae Birkin featuring Zoddy, the track titled Poppin'. What'd you guys think of that?
Boy, that was a hit. I think that was like an actual hit, but I don't think that we know the full capability of that track just because of the mix. At first, I thought it kind of gave me like lo-fi, intentionally low quality vibes. But the more the song went on, the more the mixing flaws showed. I think the fucking song itself was a hit. I think the vocals just would have really came out with a really great mix. The beat was really vibey, bouncy. Had my head moving before they even said a word. Dae killed it on the hook, and Shorty came in. At first, I was like, oh wow. She kind of reminds me of Lily, just at first with her voice, the high note she was hitting, really old school R&B vibes. But when she really got into her bag, that song slapped for me. Even with my disagreements in the way it was mixed, I was vibing the whole time. I couldn't stop myself from having a good time. So it's just a testament to how good I thought the track was.
Facts.
Yeah, the mix was really rough, but in general, the melodies were really dope. I loved the first part when the female artist came in. At first, I was like, and then when she hit that second floor, I was like, okay, it's just the mix. Like she's actually going crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. I think when she was like belting a little bit more and hitting high notes, I think a really good mix would have let that really fluctuate.
Yeah, for sure. Like I agree. Like with the right mix, that's a hit type of track. I'd like to hear it with a much better mix. I would really be interested. Because I think in general, that has a lot of potential.
And that was
I gotta
dope.
check out the rest of this project.
Facts. I'm excited to check out. It's a nice little EP. He does a good job at that. Only like it's not really a long project. When he drops projects, they're usually pretty short. They come every couple of months. They're solid quality. So he's an artist that I feel like we got to talk about just a little bit more because he is delivering when he drops projects. So I think it was dope that he had this collaborative with her because I haven't heard a whole lot of like female and male collaborations, especially out of upstate. I think I've heard a couple of her tracks before, if I'm not mistaken. If I'm thinking of the same artist, I'm pretty sure I am. So she's really good. She's really good, and that's why I was excited to see this. I do agree with you guys when she had came in. It wasn't necessarily exactly what I was expecting, and it wasn't as good as I might have expected, but it's good to hear you guys mentioning that it was the mix because as it did go on, I did appreciate it a lot more. So it makes sense that the mix just wasn't necessarily hitting. And I'm excited to check out his project. Like I said, his music is easy to consume. It's usually really good, especially for how young he is. So yeah.
One thing I want to say about Dae is that the way I found out about him was an absolute banger that he made. High energy video, very trendy, one could say. And then he dropped a project, that collab project with Zay or Isaiah, and completely different type of music. And then the first single off this project is completely different than anything else I've heard from him. So clearly he could do a lot of different bags. And you talked about how young he is. I'm excited to see where he goes from here. I got to check out the rest of this project because the one thing that I always give respect to in an artist is his versatility.
Yeah, that's a fact. The next artist we have lined up, I think we've talked about him maybe once or twice before on the podcast, but it's an artist named Ty the Gift. He's got a new track he dropped recently called Grape on a Vine. We're going to play that and then let everybody know what we think.
Go ahead.
Wanna try your luck? I don't wanna do that. Wanna try your luck? Bet against these odds, ain't nothing but suicide. For mines, let's do or die. All my niggas got their license, ain't worried about who gon' ride. What I look like switching sides, I'm real, fuck a disguise. They praying on my demise, well, bet against these odds, ain't nothing but suicide. For mines, let's do or die. All my niggas got their license, ain't worried about who gon' ride. What I look like switching sides, I'm real, fuck a disguise. They praying on my demise, well, I can't name a nigga on my level. Gotta thank God for this life he gave me, but I was raised up by devils. They say hell gon' freeze over. They better hurry up and kill me first. They been trying for a long time, but they come up shorter than a mini skirt, cause I'm still here. I'm not the one to catch beef with. My stomach growling like sat steak, so you know a nigga about to eat quick. Got a big desi that bark loud. I be on my bully like I breathe piss. The only way we gon' work it out is when it sticks strong like a weed finish. No competition, no defense. Y'all still in the preseason. TY undefeated. I was starving, now I'm eating. No handouts when I'm reaching. Got demons with me and they thieving. Take a nigga life for no reason. Now we even. Gang. Wanna try your luck? Bet against these odds, ain't nothing but suicide. For mines, let's do or die. All my niggas got their license, ain't worried about who gon' ride. What I look like switching sides, I'm real, fuck a disguise. They praying on my demise, well, bet against these odds, ain't nothing but suicide. For mines, let's do or die. All my niggas got their license, ain't worried about who gon' ride. What I look like switching sides, I'm real, fuck a disguise. They praying on my demise, well, you know what I'm saying? I can't name a nigga on my level now, I mean. Y'all already know what it is with me, man. TY the Gift. Yeah.
That was Grape on a Vine by Ty the Gift, TY the Gift. What'd you think, Sheridan? What'd you think of that?
I mean, I thought there was a part in the middle where he found his flow a little bit. Had a nice little moment. But other than that, I wasn't really feeling it. I'm not gonna lie. The mix wasn't very good. His flow was like okay. The lyrics were, I mean, they weren't bad. They just weren't like good enough to make up for the rest of it.
Yeah, when you have a flow like that, I think, and or maybe I don't know, just the sound. I think you have to really over deliver in terms of lyrical quality and lyrical content. And like you said, there was nothing bad. There was nothing where I could say like, oh, that was a shitty line or anything that stuck out in that way to me. But there was absolutely nothing that stuck out. Like I was essentially waiting like to go like, oh fuck, like there was a bar, and I just didn't necessarily get that from that. What do you think, Ant?
I thought it was a high energy track. I'm gonna agree with Sheridan on the sense where the mix wasn't very great. I agree with you where there wasn't a line that stood out to me like, oh shit. But I don't really think this was a track that necessarily needed lyrical content. It would have took it to the next level for sure. I would have loved to hear him snap on it. The type of flow that he had would have definitely benefited from higher lyrics. But I hear people pull off this flow with elementary lyrics all the time. He did well. I thought he executed it decently. There was a couple times where he fell out of pocket and he lost me a little bit. If this had a better mix, though, I think that this would have been a different conversation completely. The last song was just such a great song that you could vibe through the mix. And this track, I think, you kind of got lost at some points because he was clipping.
Yeah.
You feel me? And it just would have been a little bit more refined. I've heard a couple tracks from T.Y. and he's dope. I like this track. I just didn't really love it.
Yeah, and to the point of like hearing artists do this kind of sound and really bring it lyrically, like for some reason he reminded me of D. Hughes, and when we hear D. Hughes do this type of thing, like he's really spitting some real lyrical shit. So that's why I think that could have helped elevate this track a little bit. But no, it wasn't bad. It definitely, there's pretty much nothing I could say that I could complain about. It's just like I was almost waiting for that next, like just something to blow me away almost, because it was good but not great.
I think it was just boring.
I think that's a fair assessment. We gotta get better with being more real with it. So I appreciate that, Sheridan. You gotta let them know how you feel. This next track,
I mean, like it wasn't bad.
No, yeah.
There was nothing that was like, this is. I was just like, okay.
And I think honestly, sometimes we need to say that more, because we've played some tracks where we don't necessarily want to say anything bad about it, and there's not much to say bad about it. It's just not something we're coming back to because it's just not either not for us or kind of boring to us. And I think that's good for an artist to know, like, okay, when I do that, it's not the most engaging. It's not like I probably wouldn't go back to this track and listen to it multiple times. So what can Ty the Gift do to make a track that people will, that maybe we will, and if we're not his target audience, great. Maybe he has thousands of people lining up to listen to this track every day. But it's worth noting that to us, it's not the most exciting. Sheridan, it's a little boring. The next track, I don't think is going to be very boring, but I mean, I could be off. But this next artist is someone I really like his music. He doesn't drop a lot of music, but I like it when I hear it. That's why when I saw him in our comments last week, I specifically asked him, like, yo, send us something in. So we got something from Naz Philippe, a track titled Drop Top. I believe this is coming out on streaming services Friday. So let's get it. I'm excited to play this, and let's get it.
One day I'm gonna be pulling up in the drop top on bullshit. Remind these niggas that they young and never forfeit. And I remember them times I almost lost it. Hopped off the porch, now I'm hopping in the Porsches. See now I didn't see the 50, need to go with down. Try to get my family out the hood and get this money now. See now I didn't see the 50, need to go with down. Try to get my family out the hood and get this money now. Had to get up off the streets and find a better way. I was sick and tired of these niggas trying to take my place. I was grinding since a young and I managed to stay up. And I've been pushing through the struggles to teach me to stay. I see the haters looking at me when I pop up. Couple baddies out here trying to call me Baba. Think I'm scheming cause I put up in a drop top. But I'm on my grind to feed my mom and all my short thoughts. I had to leave it alone, I'm on my path now. Trying to get my family out the hood and get this money now. See now I didn't see the 50, need to go without. Trying to get my family out the hood and get this money now. Day I'm gonna be pulling up in the drop top on bullshit. Remind these niggas that they young and never forfeit. And I remember them times I almost lost it. Hopped off the porch, now I'm hopping in the Porsche. One day I'm gonna be pulling up in the drop top on bullshit. Remind these niggas that they young and never forfeit. And I remember them times I almost lost it. Hopped off the porch, now I'm hopping in the Porsches. See now I didn't see the 50, need to go down. Try to get my family out the hood and get this money now. See now I didn't see the 50, need to go down. Try to get my family out the hood and get this money now. Try to get
That's Drop Top from Naz Philippe. He is so fucking good. What'd you guys think of that?
Yeah, that shit was crazy. That shit was so fire.
Can't say that shit's boring.
Nah, that shit was gas.
Well, and the thing about this, he's done a great job at promoting this track. I don't know if you guys have seen the snippet that he has on social media. It's
so many different places, and there's so many different. I've seen it hit a couple thousand on IG, seen it hit 10,000 on Facebook, then 40,000 and 50,000. And I don't think the song has even came out yet. So he's doing a real good job of getting this out there. Nas is elite, bro. He's somebody that if he was consistently dropping music, he has a plan. I was talking to him a couple weeks ago. He FaceTimed me. Son has a real big plan. He's somebody that makes me excited to see. I've been waiting for him to just take what's his because he's really dope, bro.
Yeah, bro, that shit was really fire.
And then the presentation just that he's done with the snippets and stuff, the way he's taken the time to it's a real rollout for this track, really. The way he's promoted the snippet, it looks super professional. I don't know if he has some type of relationship with Billboard or what there is, but there's like a Billboard thing on it, and it looks so professional that if there isn't a relationship with Billboard, I definitely believe there is. Like it looks official is what I'm trying to get to. So it works out. It's fucking dope. And like you see stuff like that, and sometimes it is official, and it's low quality, and you almost question it. It's kind of the opposite here, where even if it's not official, it's so good that it fucking might as well be. So I'm excited to see what he has coming. He's an artist with a lot of talent and everything that I could see going a lot of places after this. So it's very cool to see him consistently release, because I was wondering, I hadn't seen much from him in a while. That's the one thing, but artists like that are either being really smart and calculated, or they've stepped away from the music side of things. So
bro, like Nas is somebody, he just recently moved into the area within the past couple years, I think. Me and Meech were opening up at a show in Binghamton, right? And Nas pulled up. I don't think Nas stayed for the show. He just pulled up, came inside, and dapped me up, and was like, "Yo, I just wanted to let you know that I'm trying to make some music with you. I came to put a face to the name, and I'm just let you know I'm here because I'm trying to go do some big things." And he has all the talent in the world to do the big things. The plan that he told me, he has everything around him now. He's got the videos, he's got the booth, he's got, man, is about to, if he can pump out a bunch of these in the next couple years, it'll be a whole different conversation.
If it just, that's all it really needs to be, is consistency, because this isn't even necessarily what I've heard, similar to what I've heard from him before. It's kind of like what I've heard from him, but it's different, you know? So if he can do that and have high quality video, like, because the last video I've seen of him, it was a while ago, but it was the same level of quality, the same good music too. Yeah. So if you can do that for weeks or months or a whole year, essentially, it's obviously going to be very successful and productive for him. So if he can get into a more consistent than once a year drop, then he'll be going places for sure.
He has an amazing voice, but he's somebody that uses auto-tune well over an amazing voice. You feel me? Some people can hit melody. Some people can hit melodies really well. Some people are good at staying in key, but he just flat out can sing his ass off and can hit all the pockets that anybody can in the game. That's why this track was a little bit different than what any of us have probably heard from him in the past, because it was a little bit more modern. When he hit those like aggressive notes like halfway through the song at the end of the choruses, I couldn't help but like just get that stank face, son. He was really in his bag for that one. So I'm looking forward to what he got next.
Me too. So, and he's an artist that I put on the list of like people I'm really excited to hear something fully, and maybe it's just an EP, but more than just one track at a time, where I could easily consume an EP from him, no problem, a full album, no problem. So I'm excited. Hopefully he has something like that down the line. But yeah, he seems to really be kicking into full gear of rolling out music too. So it's an exciting time. A lot of these really, really talented cats took last year to get some stuff together, figure everything out, and started releasing. So it's going to be a very productive year for Upstate for sure. I can guarantee that.
Oh, I got full faith for him as well. If Son stays as consistent as I know he can be, this next year, in 365 days, it's over.
That's a fact. So that wraps up all the music we had to play, most of the topics we had to talk about. Last thing we got to talk about is we're changing stuff up for our competition episode this time. We're going to be doing stuff a little bit different with the month of March coming up. We're going to do a March Madness tournament. So we're going to have artists. We're going to be reaching out to a lot of people, so don't worry. You don't got to rush to send us anything. But if you're interested, DM me. We want to get people who are interested to join in this. You're going to send us a track. We're going to line up a bracket. We're going to play it versus style here on the podcast. In a couple of weeks, we're going to get this started on March 10th. Where we'll be playing each track back to back and then deciding which one we prefer. That's the one that moves on. And it depends on the day. Some days we're going to prefer one track over another. So we're really excited to do this a different way, get the competition episodes. It's going to spread out probably 4 or 5 weeks where we're really able to do something a little bit more engaging, a little bit more fun. So it's going to be dope. There'll obviously be prize money attached to it. We always give away some money, which I think is pretty cool of us. So yeah, it's going to be fun. So keep in tune for that March Madness.
It's gonna be exciting, bro.
I'll have an official post up later on tonight, if not tomorrow morning. That way we can just have people understanding exactly what we're doing. But I wanted to at least mention it this week. Next week we should have the bracket ready, so that way we can promote it next week, and then we'll get it started on the 10th. That's my goal, that's my plan, and that's how it should be looking. So that wraps up what we needed to talk about. You guys could let them know where to find you, what all you got going on. Sheridan?
Right now I'm just working on getting back to San Francisco. I got some stuff planned coming in these next couple months.
If you want a verse, you got a week and a half to pull you in somewhere and get some work done with you, or what?
Yeah, I'm out of here Friday the 5th of March. So if you guys want to link me before I'm out of here, let me know. Hit me up. We'll try to make something happen. Because I don't know when I'm going to be back. Probably not until summer at least. And when I come back, it won't be for too long. But other than that, follow me on social medias. I doubt Andrew has put my
not today.
Under there yet.
Not today. I thought about it.
So at Sheridan Carter with 2 R's on Twitter, at Sheridan Cartier on Instagram. I'm banned on Facebook. Let's get
again. You've definitely been banned on Facebook more of the podcast, I feel like, than you've been unbanned on Facebook at this point. Like, if not, it's pretty close.
This is my fourth 30-day ban in the last 5 months.
Yeah, so probably about half and half. 4 months on the podcast where you could comment and 4 months where you can't. That's funny.
Low key impressive, bro. You got real life haters. Or either that or you are the real life hater. Like,
yeah, we know he's getting
a little bit of both. A little bit of both.
Man. So yeah, catch Sheridan back on Facebook in 27 days or some shit, and he'll only be available for 3 after that.
I think it's literally 27 days. So
you just gotta be like Rod and make 4 accounts so you can rotate through as you get banned. Can you not get banned forever? Do they not do that?
I don't think they do it. I think I'd have to do some really wild shit.
All right. Then the 30-day ban is just fucking stupid. Then if there's no if it's just consistently oh, we're gonna ban you for 30 days at a time, it's who the fuck cares? Obviously you have other accounts. I don't know.
Obviously I have other accounts. I mean I don't know.
I'm not saying you should be banned on Facebook forever,
account.
But
until you get banned.
If I were to get banned on Facebook, bro, I'd be fucked. I don't think I would make another Facebook. But
it's a lot of work.
It's a lot of work, son. Facebook already gives me a headache. I've been trying to stay off of it more the past.
You got to be funny like Rod, where everyone wants to be your friend for that shit to work. Because I see new Rod profiles, I'm like, yep, add.
He's somebody that if I see that little South Park character, click.
They got him again.
No ifs, ands, or buts, bro. I think he has 6 accounts right now, or maybe even more than that. Oh damn! Anthony Cannon on all social medias. You feel me? Saint Cannon still rocking out now more than ever. So thank you anybody that's still streaming it. Make sure to add that on whatever streaming platform you listen to if you haven't already. I'm working on what the next joint going to be right now. Yesterday I was working on my release schedule for all of 2021, and if I could pull this shit off, it'll be crazy. So just bear with me. I got the physicals, St. Cannon CDs, the hoodies are on the way. They should be here soon. I'll make sure to keep everybody posted with that. I'm excited to do these bundles, couple videos in the vault. Man, it's going to be fun. So just make sure to bear with me on this, and I'll make sure to come through with some fire content for y'all. This is a good show today. We had a couple good conversations. You feel me?
Yeah, we had some. We didn't get too heated either. I really was hoping this would be the episode where me and Sheridan could really argue, like really get mad at each other. And he did not play into any of it with the Tekashi shit. Didn't play into any of it with the Cardi shit. He's just too not hungover today to just have regular adult conversations. It's fucked up.
Yeah, nah, it's funny. I'm sure one day.
Damn, the cops are pulling up now. Shit.
Yeah, shit. They on their way. They found me. People, if they ever saw the group chat, they would realize how often you guys actually do go at it. So, you know, it don't even gotta be public. You feel
Facts.
me?
That's the problem. We argue too much in the group chat over text. That once we get back in here, it's just like we've already made all our points. There's no point in getting into it anymore. So.
I'm about to send something to the group chat right now to argue about too.
All right. Well, make sure you guys follow up State Aesthetic on Facebook especially, but we're on Twitter trying to get a little bit more active over there, on Instagram as well. If you guys got anything coming out in the next couple weeks you want me to cover it, I'm trying to get back into it, trying to get back busy with shit. It's just a lot more fun to cover stuff before it comes out than to drop a post on something that dropped a week ago. But if you dropped something a week ago and you want me to cover it, I absolutely will. We could do some interviews. We could do some cool shit. I just need a little bit more inspiration and we'll get to it. So hit me up and that's all I need. Otherwise, we'll be back next Wednesday with the podcast. We're going to play a little bit of Bingo off of St. Cannon and get out of here.
Bingo. Yeah. We was some kids with the trap jumping. There was some days we ain't have nothing. Was good with that nigga, he asked for me. Back in the day, got packs from me. I took a break, I'm back on my wave. I jump on the stage and get cash from me. Used to hit licks with a couple of friends, so you know what it is at the mask on them. I saw the cops back on my block, so I had to dip with a half on them. Before I get knocked, I'm setting up shop, so I ain't get cold with the gas on them. This is a party, doomsday. I'm on a run. I'm a hit Zoe and Bingo. I spot a rapper, bingo. Tell from the flow that I be a go-getter. Shots get thrown, can't run from the pole, nigga. Ain't too many got soul with them raps so clean, think tracks get ghost rent. We pull up with the bros, yo, whole click photo, no, that's whole nigga trace. We pull up, then go in the safe. This is a payback, and my brothers, they get them to say that. See, they talking, but we don't engage that. We tie nigga to train tracks.